Reggie here, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to welcome you to another one of my live streams. This is Comics Today, a show that we do on Wednesday to celebrate the best day of the week, that being New Comic Book Day. And I can tell you for a fact that I did not make it to my LCS today, but I did pick up potentially the biggest book that I have ever picked up. I picked it up today and I could not be more excited about it. Technically, I don't have it in hand, but it is en route to me. And we are going to talk about that along with several other things as we work our way into this live stream. One of the things that I always like to do as part of this live stream, because it is a celebration of New Comic Book Day, is I like to go to the chat to see what it is that people may have picked up at their local comic shop. If they read something that was incredible that we should put on the top of our stacks, I definitely want to know that. If you are in the live chat, you want to shout out your LCS, we are open and receptive to that as well. And as a reminder, this show that we are doing right now, Comics Today, is typically rebroadcast on the podcast. And so if you like podcasts while you're doing yard work or doing, a workout or driving to work or something like that, you can actually access Regie Collects on your favorite podcasting platform. And it doesn't matter what that podcasting platform is. If you search for Regie Collects, you will probably find me there. And there are, in some cases, 100 or so episodes available for your listening pleasure. All right. So with that, we are actually going to go to the chat here to see what it is that folks may may have picked up at your LCS today. I am laughing because there is a wonderful comment here from Matt Woods who says that X-Men wall, how does Reggie hang books on the wall? Is it magic? This is a question that we literally get every single week. We literally, he's making fun here, but we do legitimately get this question every single week, and it's an awesome question. Let me see. I was scrolling through. Juggernaut says LCS only received their DC books today. House on the Lake, A and B it is, he said. And you can't go wrong. You cannot go wrong with House on a Lake. I'm going to tell you that right now. If you haven't read it, I definitely encourage you to check it out. It is a fantastic read. And as a reminder, tomorrow, we are going to be dropping the top 10 most submitted books into CGC. And I'm going to just go ahead and say it. This book, House on a Lake, is on the list. Now, where on the list? I will not tell you that. You definitely want to tune in for that pre-recorded video that will be coming out tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is a good video, I shall say. Steve says he did not make it to the LCS, but he did get Mad #1 back from CBCS with a beautiful yellow label. Congrats to you, my friend. Scrolling through, my man Vox picked up Nice House on the Lake and Batman issue number 117, and in parens he has put the last James tie-in book. I don't know. I don't know if that's the last one. I haven't been keeping track of when he is making the escape to Substack, but I'll defer to my man Vox's summation here that Batman 117 is indeed it. Shadow picked up Ant, which is if you have not read Ant, it's an interesting read. It really is. Spawn, Gunslinger Spawn, and also King Spawn, and I can tell you for a fact that some of those books too made the list for the top 10 most submitted books in the CGC. Technically, that list is the top 20 or 21. I'm not going to tell you where these books are on the list, but they are represented somewhere on the list. You may want to tune in tomorrow. Scrolling through, Toe Man says he got his Image books from last week, and we are going to have a representative on the show here momentarily from Skybound Image. So bear with me as I work through a couple more things here, and we're going to break it down. Matt Woods is giving a shout out to his LCS Codex Comics and PA. He says super nice owners. That's what's up. Shout out to Rick's Comics City. This is from my man L Smith. He says all 3 locations. So if you don't know anything about L Smith, let me tell you, his comic shop probably shouts him out. Rick is probably somewhere on Facebook in one of those owners chat rooms, and he's like, hey, let me tell you about L. Smith. L. Smith comes into the shop and buys all the books every week. Shout out to L. Smith for supporting local comic shops. I am confident that they appreciate you, brother. Joey Stuntmaster is in the house. It is good to see you and son. I'll go ahead and say that. L. Smith picked up, here you go, as evidence by the comment that I just made, Blade Runner Origins, Dark Ages 3, Kingspawn 4, Moon Knight 5, refrigerator full of heads. I thought it was basket full of heads. Is it not now a refrigerator? Shang-Chi, a couple of other books here, including Walking Dead Deluxe, issue number 27, X-Force 25, and others, he says. Let me see. We only received Marvel and DC, Moon Knight, and House on the Lake for my man Richard. Again, scrolling down through some of the comments here, my man Doug, how you doing, brother, says he did not make it to the LCS today, but he's picking up a lot of copies of a book tomorrow. Well done, sir. Hint, hint, hint. What is that? Juggy Fresh picked up West Coast Avengers 45 from $1 bin. That is a win all day, every day. Guy McLeod picked up Boba Fett, what is that? Son and Father. Well, oh, he's giving a shout out to the shop. Son and Fathers picked up a coverless ASM 17 volume 1 for $30. There you go. Good stuff. Good stuff. So again, I'm scrolling through some of these. Phil Tastic is down here. He says his LCS didn't get anything today, hoping they will get them by the weekend. Fingers crossed. And yes, it is refrigerator full. Well done, brother. Well done. Let me see. Richard is chiming in. He's talking about some other books that he picked up. Let me see. I was scrolling through some of the comments. I'm scrolling back up. So as I mentioned, I did not make it to the LCS today. I had a crazy day at work, and then some personal stuff that I had to get to. But the question is, what did I pick up? Oh, what did I pick up? Indeed, I picked up a beautiful book. It is a beautiful book that I'm looking for right now, so I can actually show you guys a photo of this beautiful book that I managed to score. That is not the photo that I want. Almost showed the wrong photo. This is the book right here that I managed to pick up. It is the Guide to Smart Comic Collecting. This is not a flat file. This is an actual comic. It has been printed, people. The first print has been completed. No, let me restate. Part of the first print has been completed. Additional copies are being printed as we speak, but there is a healthy amount of books that are being hand carried to us at Garage Con. So if you're coming to Garage Con on November 20th, you will be able to get your hands on this book right here, The Guide to Smart Comic Collecting. Scott actually called me up earlier today, and he was giddy. He was downright giddy. And if you guys saw Scott on the last week's show, I think it was, he does not strike you as the type of guy that is prone to giddiness. But he was excited. He was excited about having this book in his hand. He was excited about the quality of the materials, the way that the book actually finished up. And I got excited because he got excited. So I am looking forward to actually getting my hands on this thing as well. But you can see here from this photo, this is not a thin comic, right? This is a modern sized comic, but it is basically the size of like an oversized annual type of book, right? It is 70-ish pages, but it should fit into a modern thicker bag. So if you have those, you should be able to bag and board this thing. But my honest hope is that people will actually use this thing as reference, right? Use it as reference, because there's a lot of really wonderful practical advice and information that is contained in the pages of this guide. You can see there, my man Doug down in the lower right-hand corner was the co-author on this and did just a fantastic job of making some magic happen. So let me go ahead and take this off the screen real quick. Let me see. So Richard has been desperately trying to get me to change the date of Garage Con so that he can actually attend. He's going to be in the area on the 21st, and Garage Con is actually going down on the 20th. I'm going to look directly at you, Richard, and I'm going to say, no, it is not going to happen. Garage Con is going down The porta potty has been ordered and will be delivered on Friday. It is all going down. Matt Wood says, are there any first appearances in this collection? Technically, it is my first cover appearance. Technically, it is my first cover appearance. And then I'm also on basically the last page. No, I'm actually, I think there's a photo of me like midway through the book, and then I'm on the last page. So I guess it's a cover appearance, and maybe that would constitute a cameo appearance at this point. We will see what people think when the book comes out. We will allow the market to decide whether this is a first appearance, true first appearance, cameo appearance, or what other acronym or descriptor you want to apply to it. I will tell you. Whoa, does it move? If so, slash. So here's the thing. I don't know if you guys were paying attention to Instagram. If you were paying attention to Instagram, there was a comment that was actually made by someone. There was a comment that was made by someone that will be making an appearance at GarageCon. And so I don't want to give it away, but there was a comment. If you pay attention to the comments, there are hints. There are hints that are being dropped out there. So I will tell you, there are going to be some really awesome announcements that are going to be forthcoming. I definitely want to encourage you guys to stay tuned. This will be on the spec deck. I don't know if it's going to be in Key Collector app. I need to reach out to Nick and be like, hey, brother, can we go ahead and slide this into the guide? I will tell you, there is going to be some app action. I have a full marketing campaign that we are executing against people. And I do want to give a huge shout out. I want to give a huge shout out to all of the sponsors that supported this project, that allowed me and Doug to be able to offer this up for an affordable price. The guide is available on regiecollects.com for $11.99. It is a wonderful price for 70 pages of practical advice for comic book collectors of all experience levels. And so for those folks that have picked it up, I will immediately start shipping out hard copies of the guide to everyone that purchased them. And then I'm also going to be sending them out to all of the comic shops after GarageCon. And there are two LCSs that have actually picked up copies of the guide to make available in their shops. One of them is JAF in Pennsylvania, and they are linked on regiecollects.com. The other is A1 Comics in Sacramento. And so both of those owners were super receptive to my conversations and offering. They went ahead and picked it up. The books will be shipped out to them so that they are available to more people. So shout out to those folks. There you go. That's what. Thank you for the donation for the portable potty, brother. I definitely appreciate that. My wife was like, how much was it? I told her. She was like, oh, that's actually not bad. I think she thought that it was going to be much more expensive. It was actually pretty reasonable. And I'm pleased that we were able to get it shipped out. There you go, Toe Man. Make sure when you're in there, if you haven't bought your copy, which I think that you have, if you haven't bought your copy from me, buy it from them. If you can't buy it from me and you want to buy it from them or don't buy it from them, whatever it is, make sure you give him a tip of the hat, brother. Just a tip of the hat to say thank you, because he hooked it up. He really did. These two comic shops did not have to do what they did, but they chose to get it. They saw the vision. And I am very appreciative for the fact that they actually were interested in picking the guide up. So I don't know if it was the wonderful letter that I sent over. I doubt it was that. I think it was honestly they wanted to make, I think, a good resource available to their clientele. I think that's really what it comes down to. So scrolling through, I think I'm all caught up. So at this point, we are going to make a transition. We are going to make a transition to talk to our next guest. And you guys know that I have been having an ongoing relationship and dialogue with Skybound for quite some time. They actually send over to me every single month a nice assortment of Skybound books that I talk about in my videos. And then I typically give away to somebody out there in the comic book community. And I have literally right over there, I have a short box full of Skybound books that we are going to give away at GarageCon. So if you are planning to come, there will be lots of freebies in addition to the Skybound books. There's going to be some other stuff that I'm going to make available to folks. But as part of my dialogue and discussion with Skybound, I was given an opportunity to speak with a man that has just a fascinating nickname. And we are going to talk to him, not just about that nickname. We're going to talk about several things that Skybound actually has on the horizon. And so I want to welcome to the show my man, Sean. Sean, how are you, sir?
I'm on mute. What's going on?
I'm going to be honest with you, brother. Your picture probably is the clearest picture that I have ever seen on this platform. That is wonderful. That Skybound money is fantastic. I think you having technical issues. We're going to keep talking here. Oh, he can't hear. All right, so he will figure it out. His picture is amazing. The beard is fantastic. I can't say enough good things about what I'm seeing on screen right now. So let's see if he can get it figured out here. I'm going to go back to the chat real quick while we wait for my man Sean to figure out some of the audio issues over there. I'm actually going to go back to Steve here. Steve is like, love Image Skybound books. We are going to talk about some of those books. Tina is giving people a little bit of context for where they can actually pick up the book. It is indeed somewhat of a pre-order, right? But rest assured that if you order it, you will be getting it relatively quickly. And I think that Sean may be ready. If you are, Sean, give me a thumbs up. There we go. I want to welcome to the show my man Sean. How you doing, brother?
What's going on? How are you?
I am doing well. So you can see me and hear me.
I got it both working right now. It was hot mess for a second, but we are good to go.
So people always say to me, Reggie, why do you have a countdown at the beginning of your videos? And I say to them, you know what? A lot can actually go wrong when you're doing a live stream. So it helps to have a couple of seconds to check things out to make sure you can hear and be heard before you go live. So again, Sean, it is good to see you, brother. Thank you for agreeing to be on the show.
Absolutely. I'm super stoked. What's going down?
Brother, we have a lot that is going down, okay? And we could talk about me, but I want to talk about you and some of the things that you guys have. It's all about you, Sean. So, Sean, I want to get this right. When I looked at the end of your email, there was a title there. It was the title of Senior Vice President of Business Development for Skybound. You and I both know, Sean, that a title doesn't actually say what you really do. So help us to understand who you are and what you do for Skybound. Break it down.
It's a good question. I have to, being the elder statesman of Skybound that I am, I oversee a lot of different aspects. Mostly right now it's a lot of our direct to consumer and fan engagement stuff. I host shows like Comic Vault Live, whether it's on Whatnot or on our Facebook and YouTube channels. I'm always looking for new artists to work with for variant covers and the such. Also going to be doing some conventions. So I kind of oversee this little world of, the forward-facing piece of Skybound.
Yep. And you've been there for 10 years. And I think that you are the second employee for Skybound. Is that correct?
That is correct. Number two, okay. Just behind Cena Grace, who was our first, the Skybound's first employee and their editor back then. And I came in a year after that and have been here ever since.
There you go. So can you give me a little context for the relationship that exists between Skybound and Image? Because I never know whether it's Image Skybound or Skybound Image, or just reference it as Skybound. Like, what is that relationship? Give us some details around that for those folks that may not fully appreciate the nuances that exist between those two entities.
Yeah, so Skybound is Robert Kirkman's imprint under the Image banner. So similar to Top Cow or TMB Productions or any of the other ones that are out there. Him as a top line creator has his own production company, and so we publish all of our books, and they all go through Image.
So Image basically handles, for lack of a better term, like the distribution of a lot of what you guys do, plus some other things. But go ahead.
Yeah, they're the publisher, and then we are the the production company, basically.
But Skybound is like pretty broad. I mean, there's like physical board games, there's like comics, I mean, there's video games. I mean, there is a lot to what is Skybound, yes?
Absolutely. I think one of the things that Robert and DA, when they set out to create Skybound, they were like, hey, let's find ways to get The Walking Dead out there and get it into every different space. And so whether it was, like you said, video games, tabletop games, merchandise, licensing deals, film and TV stuff, like Skybound does everything.
Yeah, which is fascinating. It really is fascinating. And it's a lot of people, I think, just think that Skybound is Walking Dead, but it's so much more than that. And I want to look at my list here because I don't want to jack it up. Like, just to name a couple of titles, it's of course Walking Dead, it's Firepower, it's Excellence. And I had an opportunity to talk to Brandon Thomas a couple of months ago. It's Oblivion Song, it's Stillwater, which is one of my favorite reads right now. It's a lot of really awesome comics. And when you go to your creators list, it's an impressive list of people, including guys like Donny Cates, who is arguably one of the hottest writers out there right now. Did I get anything wrong in what I just said there? And would you add anything to what I just said?
I mean, in terms of the comic space, you've got it right there. Like we've worked with people up and down the spectrum of amazing, talented creators, and we'll continue to do that. We'll try to be a great opportunity and place for people to come that they want to bring their ideas and have a different supporting crew, because we've got an amazing group of editors and production team, and then all the people who work on the stuff with merchandising and our direct to consumer stuff. We have an amazing staff of people that we work with.
There you go. And you guys are also putting out some fantastic content. As I glance at some of the comments here in the room, there's a couple of people that are talking about how much they appreciate what it is that Skybound actually puts out. And so I think it's also a wonderful thing when the industry and people start to recognize who and what it is that you all actually offer up. But one of the first things that I wanted to talk to you about is what you mentioned a few moments ago, which is Comics Vault Live. For those folks that are not that familiar with CVL, can you talk a little bit about what the premise is behind this live show that you are the host of?
Yeah, absolutely. So early 2020, right before the pandemic, we started, I'm a big fan of collecting books and getting graded comics and variants and the like. And we wanted to find a way, like, for some of the older variants and stuff that we had in storage and in our vault, how do we make that stuff available to fans that are, they don't have, maybe they missed it out the first time when a variant came out 10 years ago, or something that's a little hotter and something that got signed by Robert. So I started selling books through our web store, doing an online show, and then just kind of carry through. And then, of course, the pandemic happens, convention shut down for us, which is one of our big, pillars, and that I went to, and Dan and Alex and the rest of our team. And so not having that as an available option, we started to do our own, CVL started to be a monthly thing. And then we started doing our Skybound Expos, which are basically an online convention for us. And so we host our panels and we do sales and stuff, and we just, carried it across. And so we've had it for, we're coming up on 2 years now, and we're going to continue to let this grow.
There you go. And so let's just get something clear. When you say vault, is there an actual vault? Are you using vault as a fancy description for a warehouse find?
I mean, it's kind of, the warehouse find. I wish, I've got a vault here in my house, like with my own safe. But we don't have one we use one in the office. So,
because my question to you was, brother, how big is your vault if you're losing stuff in the vault, right? I've been to CGC. CGC has an impressive vault, right? So I'm like, how big is the Skybound vault? But essentially what you're talking about is you guys are unearthing, right, for using a fancy word, unearthing some really awesome Skybound books that were made available previously that people may have missed out on years ago, and you are bringing those back and giving people an opportunity to purchase those books. Is that a fair description?
Yeah, I mean that's exactly how it started. It's like, hey, I've got a couple variants from Wizard World shows, or older retailer variants that we give out at San Diego Comic-Con to retailers who came to our breakfast. So we'd find those. Oh, cool, let's get it graded. It's a 9.8 copy. Let's make sure we can get allow some fans to be able to buy it. And then it actually morphed a little bit, and we started doing our own variants. And so we've done variants with Image Comics creators. We've done it with Boom creators. We've done more with art creators. And so we're trying to find ways to do cool variants that give the fans something else to collect.
There you go. I didn't know you guys were crossing over with Boom.
We did, yeah.
That's not something you hear about all that often. I cut you off. My bad. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
Apologies. Yeah, we've done three books with them so far, and we're always looking to do more stuff. So
that's cool. How many of these type of virtual live sales have you done thus far?
I mean, we're coming up on just about 2 years. So if you include what we do on the monthly show, and then we also have been doing Whatnot since earlier this year. And so we probably do we've done about 20 or 30. We expect next year to kind of increase that. And so we'll start doing it. Possibly we're looking at doing a weekly show just to kind of open up more stuff with fans. And it'll expand too. Beyond comic books, we'll start doing, pack breaks, sports cards and comic cards and Magic stuff and Flesh and Blood, all that fun stuff. Opening up and finding treasures and stuff, like whether it's action figures. Like we've been able to use this as a way to fuel the stuff that we love too. And I think the fans have really shown that they want to see more cool stuff. So.
Yeah. And I'm curious, as you think about those, let's say 20 or 30 shows that you've done, is there one or two major finds that stands out in your mind as this was really cool to find and really cool to offer up to people? Is there anything that stands out in your mind?
Yeah, I think early on we had a bunch of stuff where it's like, getting 9 copies of our books in a 9.9 from CGC or 10s. And being able to offer those up to fans is pretty rare. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to, we're lucky because we're able to send stuff directly to CGC and we're able to get them to take stuff from the printer, and it doesn't have to go to Diamond and then get shipped to the store. And so those things are always, it's a little harder to find high grade books like that in the wild. So when we ship directly from our printer to CGC, you're going to have a little higher probability of getting some high grade stuff. And so being able to bring that stuff out for fans has been really awesome. I think we had a really good turnout on our Attack Peter Ultra Mega variant. I think we had a CGC 10 that we offered. I think it sold over $1,000, which was pretty amazing out the gate. And then also the other fun thing is being able to, especially in the pandemic, I'm able to go to see Robert, get him to sign books, and I can get those signed books graded and then offer stuff to fans who aren't able to, Robert's not doing any shows. He's not able to sign stuff. So that's been a great outlet for collectors.
There you go. And just to clarify, are you all selling these at market rate, or are you selling them at a discounted rate? Because you made mention of trying to make it available to fans. So I want to put a little bit of texture to that. So if you guys found a Walking Dead 1, got it graded at a 9.8, would that be market price or would it be something else? I'm just curious.
If we sell it directly, I'll try to find whatever books. If we find older stuff, I try to get it below eBay prices, because I like to make sure, like, hey, if you're coming to us, we're going to treat you a little bit better. Other books, if it's a newer variant, we set like a number for where they should sit. And then if we do auctions, whether it's Whatnot or eBay, those things are just, that's just whatever they go for. So
the market drives the price in that case. Okay, that's super helpful. And just to clarify, so let's say that someone was going to participate in one of the Comic Vault live streams that you were doing. How does someone access that? Like, how do you go about doing it? Because I've seen your stuff on Facebook. I've seen it on the Skybound page. Like, where do I go if Big Clutch has something really awesome that I want? How do I get it?
Yeah, you can go to the Skybound's website. Should have all the information, but also if you go on our Facebook page, if you have Facebook, you can find an RSVP link, which will usually give you all the information and let you know when it goes live. And then for that, we'll do the live stream, whether it's through Facebook Live or YouTube. And then once we're in there, we put up the links as we go through and show the books, and then allow people to purchase from there.
Like you literally put the link in the chat. So if you're
Yeah.
there, you click it, you then go, you buy it at that price or whatever, and then you're good to go. I mean, I watched a couple of the streams, so I know, but I'm giving texture for those folks that haven't had a chance to check it out. But I do believe that you have a series of events that are actually coming up. And I first want to start with the one that you have on 11/29. It is the Comic Vault Live Cyber Monday stream. Can you give us a preview, some insight into what it is that you may be offering during that specific live stream on 11/29?
Absolutely. We've got Invincible #1 this year. Robert did a series of reprints of Invincible #1 and did a big foil treatment to logos. And so we've had basically a rainbow of colors so far available. This time we're going to be making available the bronze variant, which is something that fans have been waiting for a while because they've seen them in the CGC census and they know they're out there. So like, when do we get it?
Yeah.
So we saved it for the Cyber Monday sale. We'll also have issue #7 of The Walking Dead Deluxe second prints, which are the Dave Finch covers, and this is a cool Tyrese Deadhead one.
That's a dope cover. You guys sent me some of those. Those are great. I gave them all away, but they're great.
Perfect. And then we're also going to be kind of cracking open the vault for other stuff that we've sold this year that people may have missed. So whether it's I think it's Haha 6 and Ice Cream Man 24, the connecting covers. I think we've got our copies of Stillwater, 6 sidekicks of Trigger Keaton. So any of the Comics Vault variants that we had sold earlier this year that we have some quantity left, we decided we're gonna allow those to kind of be sold.
You made mention of Invincible, brother. For probably 6 months, my subscribers have been encouraging me to watch Invincible on Amazon. And I've been resistant, not because I don't like Invincible. I'm just not big on cartoons. And so I said to them, I'm going to watch it when there isn't anything else on TV. I'm going to watch it. This weekend, it happened. I was sick. There was nothing on TV. I watched it and I was like, this show is amazing. It really is good. And I mean, it brings in all the voice actors from like The Walking Dead and stuff like that. The Simmons guy, I love, my last name is Simmons, so I dig that. But as soon as you said Invincible, I was like, okay, I got to at least make mention of this now to my people. So that resonates with me. So it sounds like the sale that you guys are doing on 11/29 is definitely going to be a really big one. And I definitely want to encourage people to check it out. And then I want to backtrack because you actually have one also on 11/19. But this one is actually on Whatnot. So can you talk with us a little bit about what you're going to do on 11/19 versus 11/29?
Yeah, 11/19. So the sale this Friday is going to be interesting because we're doing earlier in the year we did a Invincible #1 variant with Whatnot, and it was Tyler Kirkham drew this amazing battle damaged Invincible, and it had 4 different variants. There was a trade dress, a virgin, a black and white, and then a foil version. And so we launched that by doing basically a pack break. And so it was Jack from Mr. Bolo from Whatnot put this together, and it was each pack had 1 or 2 copies of the Invincible variant plus a couple other buyback books. And he snuck in an Invincible #1 first print in there and some other rare stuff. Cool. So we're doing a different version. This one that we're putting together ourselves with some of the comps that we have. And so it's a Comics Vault Live mix. So you're going to have there'll be 36 packs. There'll be 1 copy of the Invincible book in there, plus I think 2 or 3 other CVL variants that we pulled from all the leftovers. And then we'll crack those open on the stream. There's 4 foil variants that are mixed into this batch. And those are apparently really hot right now if you look at the secondary market. And then I think there's actually going to be 1 God pack that's mixed in there too. So 1 pack will have all 4 of the Invincible variants. So should make for a pretty fun time.
So the term pack break may be foreign to a lot of people that don't do cards, right? Because that is a common thing for like trading cards. Essentially, what you guys have put together, and I'm using my own terminology, which is more of comic book terminology. You put together mystery bundles that are comprised of different types of comics that are going to be offered up in bundles, in mystery packs. People will buy the mystery pack. You guys will then open up the mystery pack and reveal what's inside. Then they get to receive those items that are contained within that mystery box. Did I just explain that correctly?
I mean, I'm going to use that going forward. That's the best description ever.
Everything that happens on this show is automatically copyrighted. So no.
All right, fine.
So what is I've never been on Whatnot, so I don't know the terminology, but I'm guessing that there is a screen name or something like that where Skybound can be referenced so that people can actually find this pack break that you guys are going to be doing on 11/19 Friday. What is that screen name? How do people find you if they choose to participate? Because again, it's only 36 mystery packs. So how do people get in on this action?
Yeah, it's you can just follow us at Comics Vault Live. So it's Comics plural Vault Live. And we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter. We post all the information there too, and that's the same username on Whatnot as well.
There we go. So you made a comment earlier when we were talking about how when the pandemic hit, you guys started to do more things digitally. And let me do this real quick. For those folks that are just joining us, we are sitting down with Sean, aka Big Clutch from Skybound. He is the Senior Vice President of Business Development, and he has given us a rundown of some of the things that Skybound is going to be doing on the horizon. They have a sale on Whatnot on 11/19. They have a Comic Vault live show on 11/29. And now we are about to kind of transition into some of the con activity that they have coming up on the horizon. Earlier, you made mention of the fact that when the pandemic hit, you guys started to go more digitally. And I know that you are a huge fan of cons because I did watch an interview with you earlier today where you indicated that you like the crowded cons, which is completely foreign to me because I like the cons where there are no people. But you like the crowded cons. That's fine. That's your personal choice. But I'm guessing now that some of the COVID restrictions are being rolled back, that Skybound is going to start making its way back out into the community. What do you guys have on the horizon when it comes to cons for the rest of this year?
Yeah, we are super excited. Me and the crew are all vaxxed, waxed, and ready to go. So we've got Emerald City Comic Con.
Hold on, bro. Hold on. There is nothing waxed about you, okay? The way you came
neck down, baby. You don't know what's going on. You don't know what's going on. Neck down, buddy. You know.
I threw you a softball. I'm glad you just took a swing, brother. You cannot just dodge that one. Lay into it. Go ahead.
But yeah, so Emerald City Comic Con, which is one of my favorite shows. I love Seattle, the town energy. So that's the first week of December. So we'll be up there doing a small booth for Comics Vault Live, and then from there we'll go to C2E2 in Chicago, which, you know, Chicago in early December sounds like a fantastically cold place, and we're going to be out there for that. I got a cat over here. What are you doing? Go there. Sorry about that.
Nothing to do with you any other time except when you're working.
Not happy with me right now. She's like she wants dinner. So, but yeah, C2E2 in Chicago. We're going to be at that show. We've got variants for both those shows. We're going to bring out we have a Walking Dead Deluxe number 27 with a cover by Daniel Warren Johnson, and that's going to be they're going to be foil treatments. Green one for Emerald City, and a blue, white, and red one for Chicago. So the city colors. It should be awesome. We're going to bring out some cool stuff. We're going to bring out some bunch of rare slabs that we've got, some high grade stuff. And then we're also going to have these really cool mystery packs of Comics Vault Live variants as well. So
very good, man. It sounds like you guys have a lot on the horizon, which I think is really exciting. I mean, I think that's good. I am going to wrap up here because your animal needs to eat, brother. Because I know when my dogs get hungry, they get just irritable. Right.
It's so real bitey over here.
Yeah. It gets brutal. So I am going to wrap up. But the last question that I have for you, brother, you have to explain the nickname Big Clutch. What does that mean? It is either you are a fantastic driver or you play some sports like nobody's business. Where does the name Big Clutch come from?
It's a mix of both. I've run a softball team for the past 17 years, and so that's it. Kind of fits with that, but it's a little more basic than that. I'm a big fan of the band Clutch, and I used to just wear a Clutch shirt like pretty much every single day. And they were. I'm also a gigantic person, and so the guys just started calling me Big Clutch around the games and stuff, and so it just stuck. So, and also I do feel that I know how to drive stick, so I think it works.
That's a skill, brother. Was it the same shirt or was it different shirts? I just want to be clear.
I wore the same one. It was a bright green shirt with the words "Clutch" across the front of it. So yeah.
You're awesome. Sean, I want to thank you, brother, for coming on the show. You clearly know how to have some fun. I'm in here sweating, laughing at you. It was the waxed and vax that got me. That got me. I wasn't ready for that. But I want to thank you for coming on, brother. It has been an absolute pleasure to chat with you. I wish you guys nothing but luck with the different activities that you guys have on the horizon. And maybe if you guys go to a con where there are not a lot of people, you might actually see me there, because those are the type of cons that I like to go to. Okay.
Appreciate it, man. I hope to see you around. It'll be awesome. Thanks for having me on. Your viewers, you guys are awesome. Good luck at GarageCon and all that stuff.
We appreciate you, brother. We'll talk soon. Go feed the cat.
Catch you later.
All right, so that was Sean, big clutch from Skybound, awesome guy. He killed me. He killed me with that comment. I was not ready for the vaxxed and wax thing. So what is that? Michael's like, hey, Clutch and Reggie, it is good to see you guys. Thank you for joining real quick. I'm scrolling through some of the comments here, making sure that I am all popping clutches. All right, so one of the other things that I wanted to talk about is the level of confusion that I saw with an announcement that came out recently. And I was under the weather for several days. I could not get it together. I could not get it together in order to go on live and talk about some of what it was that I was actually seeing happening out there in the world. But now that I'm feeling better, and I'm not coughing and wheezing and all that other crazy stuff, I wanted to talk about, let me see if I can find it here. This headline, if I can scroll through this headline right here, CGC all clear. This headline has caused so much confusion because I don't know that people went beyond the initial headline of the all clear. I think people saw CGC all clear and jumped to a lot of conclusions based upon what they were seeing. The reality of what CGC is basically saying in the first part of this article is that they have cleared the backlog of the packages. The packages that needed to be opened have all been opened and I guess logged into their system so that people can actually check the status and see that those packages have been received. They are not saying that the backlog has been cleared, because if the backlog had been cleared, I would be doing a dance, the same dance that I was doing on the TikTok the other day. I still have a lot of books at CGC and I'm keeping my fingers crossed that those books are going to make their way to me very soon. But essentially what this alert was saying from CGC on 11/15 is that they have cleared out and opened all the boxes. And I want to go to the article real quick because it says, CGC is excited to announce that they have caught up on the backlog of submitted comics that were waiting to be opened. This is an important accomplishment, follows a comprehensive effort that includes acquiring additional square footage, working thousands of hours of overtime, hiring more people, and engaging these operational efficiency consultants. So again, the big thing here is that they have opened the boxes and that those boxes are now like going to start at some point to make it their way through the process, which I think is a good thing. There are some other details in here that I think are important. So they go on here to talk about the fact that they've acquired this additional 25,000 square foot space to develop an optimized CGC workflow. They now talk about the fact that they now have a 100,000 square foot facility in Sarasota, Florida. I have not been to this location. I'm actually hoping to be able to make it there at some point. But they say a lot of things here about what it is that they are hoping to do, what this new optimized workflow will allow them to do, which is to have, shorter distances that our books will move around to prevent books from being packed and repacked as they are moved from, one area of the facility to another area of the facility. So I think they're trying to basically use this larger space to optimize the workflow so as to reduce inefficiencies. I think that's the big thing, is that they are saying, look, we were in a small space before. We had a lot of inefficiencies because of the way that the facility was set up. We are looking to eliminate those inefficiencies by being in this larger area that gives us more room to move things around and to basically optimize the process. And again, I think that this is a wonderful thing. Fingers crossed that it actually does have some impact. They also talk about, let me see if I can find it here. they talk about this process that they've started. Some customers have noticed that selected submissions have been completed faster than CGC's posted turnaround times. These submissions were put through the optimized workflow, and by December 2021, all operations will have fully transitioned to the optimized workflow. So I was hearing these sporadic reports that people's packages that they had just sent in were already on their way back to them. They have been received by CGC. They have been received. They have been processed. They have been clean, pressed, graded, all that good stuff, and been sent back to them in like some crazy timeline. And I guess that they were taking some packages that were coming in and putting it through this new process to test, I guess, the efficiency before they fully convert the operation over. And again, I'm keeping my fingers crossed that all of these things that they are doing will have some impact on the backlog of books that are still at CGC. So our intent is to complete submissions on a first in, first out basis with each grading tier, and every effort will be made to do so moving forward. Fast track submissions will continue to be prioritized. So let me scroll through this. I think that was pretty much all that I wanted to talk about here. You know, at the end of the day, what I am hearing is that CGC is trying to make some improvements. They are trying to move the needle. They are trying to do the right thing. I think it's also a recognition that there's some things that they could do better. I think that's an important admission here that they are making without necessarily saying it. I think that they are saying it when you dig into the details. There's one additional passage here that I wanted to look at. And it says, CGC has taken a number of steps to ensure an adequate supply of holder parts. While many companies struggle with supply chain disruptions, this includes investments in additional holder production capabilities and paying premiums for expedited shipments. This is actually something that I spoke about previously, where I alluded to maybe the fact that not only do we have a paper shortage and we have all of these things that are in the various harbors and ports that can't get in, my thought was there could be some plastic supply issues related to holders, right? We know it's affected bags and boards, right? We know that it's affected the printing, but I also speculated that potentially there could be some disruptions in the availability of some slabs, and that could be also slowing things down. And I don't know that anyone wants to admit that they cannot slab a book if your whole thing is to basically grade and slab a comic. But I think that this was an interesting notation that they made there. So let me go ahead and remove that from the screen. I'm going to go to the chat here. Chris Bigger says, my submission arrived in June and they didn't open until August 1. Brother, I have some books there that have been there since January. Okay, since January of 2021. I'm hoping that they make their way back to me. So I get it. What was that comment there from J. Thomas Cruz? I just finally got most of a batch I sent in the beginning of May, but I'm still waiting on one and all of another batch I sent in late August. And again, I have stuff there that has been there for a very, very long time. Tina has the right attitude. She's like, fingers crossed. She's like, fingers crossed for all of you people that have books. I have so many Sandman books at CGC. I also have other books that I can't even remember what they are at this point. It'll be an honest to goodness surprise unboxing when certain boxes come back, because I really don't remember what's actually in them. So fingers crossed. Steve says, my CBCS package took 6 months, but those were signature verification. Brother, don't even get me started on them, okay? Because I have books that were sent in April that they don't really know where they are. Books in April, 4 of them, they can't find them. So trust me when I tell you, none of these companies are. Neo, my man Rob is like, yeah. He's like, I'm gonna just skip the line and buy it graded already. Well, sir, hats off to you, sir. I saw your 9.6s of the X-Men books you put up earlier today. So shout out to my man Rob. Chris Bigger's like, I don't feel so bad. I'm gonna tell you right now. No matter how bad your story is, and no matter what your story is, there is someone out there that has it worser. Let me tell you. And I don't talk about it a lot, but I have some stuff that's going on. And again, it just doesn't help. I'm going to tell you, yes, man, I have some yes, this is what I'm talking about, people. And again, it is what it is. And yeah, so scrolling through some of the comments here. What is that? Reggie, they owe you. Yes, they do. Yes, they do, Wayne. I could not agree more with you, Wayne. I could not agree more with you. And I will tell you guys, there is a strong possibility that a representative from CGC will be on site at GarageCon. I'm gonna just throw it out there. There is a strong possibility that CGC will be making an appearance at GarageCon, along with Go Collect. Go Collect, I think, is also going to roll through and make some magic happen. So don't feel bad for me, people. This is not a pity party. It is not a pity party, as I tell you. And a lot of the content that I create on the channel comes from experience. I tell you. Send it and forget it. I send it in and I just let it do its thing. All the being upset in the world does not help because it does me no good. It just doesn't help. Scrolling. Say, I'm gonna tell you, man, anybody that comes on my show and comes to hang out with me is going to find a safe environment. You might get some difficult questions, but it will be a safe environment and we will have some fun. All these people, I don't make any of this stuff personal, right? These are all good people. All good people. I will tell you that no company is perfect. No company is perfect. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I don't know if you guys know who this is. This is my brother. This is Rizal Simmons. He is my younger brother. He will be on site at GarageCon. He is rolling in with his son from Atlanta, and he'll be here on site. So Dave and Doug Bratton will be here, the Bratton brothers, and they will face off against the Simmons brothers. I don't know what we're gonna face off on. Maybe my 7-foot hoop in the backyard. I don't know. I'm gonna just throw it out. I'm gonna throw it out there, and if something happens, something happens. We gonna call shirts though, Dave and Doug. We gonna call shirts. Hey, you never know what might be worked out. You never know what's gonna happen. You never know. You never. Here's the thing. Go Collect and I have never had a bad relationship. Again, I separate the business dealings, if you will, from the people. The people are fantastic, right? Business sometimes things just don't work out, and that's fine. I still have wonderful relationships with all these people, and I've not stopped talking to them through any of this, us not working together. We still talk. I literally was talking to the president of Go Collect just earlier today, in fact. So there you go. Gibbons are unpredictable. anything can indeed happen. Tina has dubbed Rizal. Oh, very good with the spelling as well. Very good with the spelling. She is dubbed Rizal 1Z. I call him Debo. If you've ever seen Friday, I call him Debo. All right. So I wanted to, for those folks that came in late, we spent some time talking to the Senior Vice President of Business Development, Big Clutch, Sean, over at Skybound. We talked briefly about CGC eliminating their backlog of boxes that needed to be opened. Not their backlog of comics to be graded, but the backlog of boxes that needed to be actually opened and logged into the system. And now I briefly want to talk about, in my opinion, some of the biggest news out there. And it is this right here. Spider-Man No Way Home. This trailer dropped the other day, and I almost lost my mind. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I almost lost my mind in this trailer. And as I watched, I got the alert on my watch from Key Collector. I then went to the YouTube. I then keyed in the trailer. I watched the trailer, and I immediately slapped the table at the end. I slapped the table, and I was like, this is amazing. I cannot wait to see this movie. I don't know if I'm gonna go to the theater. I'm gonna be completely honest with you, but this movie looks like it is going to be really, really awesome. And as you can see there on screen, the Spider-Man No Way Home is going to be exclusive in movie theaters, dropping December 17th. I would, of course, play for you the trailer, but I don't feel like dealing with Sony's attorneys. I don't feel like dealing with their attorneys trying to explain how this is a reaction video or any of that other stuff to get them to take off the copyright claim that they are going to slap on me. So we won't do that. We will instead kind of glance at some of the details in terms of who directed this thing, who wrote it, what it's based upon. We all know that it's Stan Lee and Steven Ditko. But one of the interesting things down here is at the bottom. At the very bottom, you see the cast. And there have been people that have made some claims about who is going to be in the movie, who's not going to be in the movie. There's been a lot of speculation about the 3 different Spider-Men that we potentially will see. Some have said that there's even going to be a 4th Spider-Man, that being Miles Morales. But what you can see here is there is a list of names. There is a list of names of the cast. It is a relatively short list. That is not an exhaustive list in any way, shape, or form of even the people that were seen in the trailer. And we know that the trailer does not always show everything. This cast list does also not show everything. So I would say that we don't truly know who all will be in this movie. And it is going to be really exciting to see ultimately what it is that Marvel Studios and Sony puts together for us. This movie, I have a feeling, is going to be really, really awesome. And I'm not just saying that because it's my favorite character. I really do believe that this is going to be an awesome movie. Let me go to the chat real quick. I'm going to see Spider-Man on Christmas Day. Brother, that is going to be wall to wall up in that joint. No doubt about that. Oh my goodness. I may have bitten off more than I can chew with this one. So we're just going to take that off the screen. Squirrel Madness says he watched the trailer 5 times and wants to watch it again. I respect it, brother. I know that people have already done their reaction videos. I've seen a couple of thumbnails for people breaking it down. I watched it once, slapped the table, and then I got up and did some work. And it's just, that's how my days have been. I've just been super, super busy. 3 attorneys for each Spider-Man. No doubt. No doubt. Can't wait to see the movie, says Matt Woods Comics. Scrolling through what of Spider-Man 2099. Hey, you might as well just throw all the Spider-Man in there. Anyone think Mephisto is that? Don't even get that started. That whole Mephisto, don't do that. Fantastic. Don't do that, brother, because you don't do that. Scrolling through some of the comments. Chris Bigger. Come on now. You and I both know that movie was dope. I know that you watched that trailer at least a dozen times. I know what you did. UK gets it 2 days before us. That is unfair. So if UK buyers start grabbing Ultimate Fallout 4, I'm going to tell you, I alluded to this earlier today. Tomorrow at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time, I am dropping the 10 most submitted into CGC video. That video drops tomorrow. Check out that video. There are some really interesting surprises in the data set. I will tell you that right now. I definitely want to encourage you guys to check that out. There's a comment here about the Eternals thing. Let me see, where'd that go? There was a comment about Eternals. Reg, has the Eternal movies affected the value of the original comics? I don't know. I would say that my guess is that those books are not doing as well, right? I bought my copies of Eternals like 3 years ago. So I bought them extremely cheaply. And so I have no intention of selling it because I honestly enjoyed the Eternals comic, right? Mostly the art, not necessarily the story. But I don't know. I have not looked at the data. Again, I've been super busy, so I have not looked at the data. My guess is that what happened with Eternals is probably what has happened with most of the other comics that are out there that are tied to movies. That when the trailer comes out, that is the time to sell. That is typically the time when most people are buying those books up if they haven't already bought them, because people are like, oh, I got to get in. And then what happens is I think the value starts to decline as we get further and further away from that movie actually ultimately being released. So like the trailer is the peak. And then as soon as the movie is seen, I think you start to see a decline in what actually happens. And again, tune in to the video that I'm dropping tomorrow at 6:30 because I actually hint at some of those very things in that video, and I don't want to preempt myself, so I won't say any more about that one. Chuck says fighting 540 will make the CGC list. We shall see. Steve, how you doing, brother? He says the Gibbon. You didn't see the Gibbon, Martin Blank, in the credits there. You didn't see him in the trailer. You didn't see him in any of the posters. But I'm going to go out on a limb and just say, if you have not bought Amazing Spider-Man issue number 110, the first appearance of the Gibbon, you are going to miss out on a wonderful opportunity. That's all I'm going to say to you. So, what is that? So this guy's trying to bribe me now. Richard is trying to bribe me. Here's the thing, brother. Unfortunately, I do have a full run. Okay. I do have a full run of Invaders. And I have so much of a full run that I'm actually going to be giving away a partial run to people that show up at GarageCon. And unfortunately, sir, because you cannot make it to GarageCon on November 20th, you will not have access to these wonderful Invaders books. So again, if you show up to GarageCon on November 20th from 9 to 2 p.m., you will have the ability to walk away with some really cool stuff. There's going to be some giveaways and stuff like that. You'll meet my brother, Rizal. My mom will be somewhere walking around here along with my father, and one of my sisters will be on site. My wife will probably be watching us on the security camera because that is what she does. But hopefully GarageCon will be a really good time. So I'm hoping you guys that have the ability to show up can actually show up, because it should be a good event. And so the very last thing that I want to talk about as I wrap up this live stream is I want to talk about the place that I actually began. And it is with this right here. Honestly, the best thing that has happened to me today is this right here. This is the very first printed copy of the Guide to Smart Comic Collecting. Scott P actually sent this to me. He's up in Pennsylvania. He was at the printer today. He picked up a ton of copies of the book. He sent me this photo, and I could not be more excited. And I'm grinning like an idiot because this is actually a really big deal. This is a really, really big deal. And I am honestly excited to get this guide in the hands of people at GarageCon, and then subsequently to it. We have some announcements that we're going to be making on the horizon that I'm very excited about. Fingers crossed that we're able to execute everything that we have planned. But if you guys have not picked up your copy of the Guide to Smart Comic Collecting, I definitely want to encourage you to head over to regiecollects.com, place an order. It is $11.99, which is relatively inexpensive for 70 pages of practical, useful tips on comic book collecting. It's 70 pages, $11.99. It is like less expensive than most variants that come out. So if you guys want to support it, regiecollects.com is where you can do that. So let me go back to the chat real quick. Is Scott P in here? Is he in here? I'm laughing at this comment right here. This is your wife's favorite time of the year. So last year, I'm out there talking to like Matt Woods and Steve and Alan and a bunch of other folks. And I checked my phone, and there's a photo. My wife has sent me a photo from inside the house of the security cameras. And it is us outside talking. And she's like, looks like a good turnout. And I'm like, yeah, it's a pretty good turnout. You want to come out? No, radio silence. It was radio silence. So I think she will put in an appearance, at least briefly. I think it may be while she's taking the dogs to go to the bathroom. I don't know. We will see. Thank you, Tina. We definitely appreciate that. Is GarageCon going to be videoed? I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. When I do a live event, my focus is on the people that are there, so that'll be my focus, is making sure that the people that are able to make it out to the event have the best possible time. And so much of that will be me trying to make them feel welcome, me trying to spend time and talking to them, me answering questions that they have, versus me trying to video them stare at me or talk to each other, and I know, Kimball, I know you have nothing but the best intentions with that question, but I wanted to provide some context as to potentially why it won't be videoed. There may be a few lives. I may try to go live like on Instagram or something like that, so you guys can at least see some of what's happening at GarageCon. But I honestly may just get too busy, going to the hole on Doug, because we're gonna have this shirts versus skins basketball game. I don't know. Anything could happen. I might pull a hammy and just be out. I don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, we will definitely try to take some pictures. We will definitely definitely try to go live. The big thing that I will tell people is if you're there, if you're at GarageCon, just remember it's my house. My children and wife are inside. Let's not video the address. Let's not video the house and any of that other kind of stuff. Come, have a good time, be in the moment. Feel free to video. Just shoot the trees, right? Just shoot the trees. So people, shoot the trees. That's all I'm gonna say to you. But again, I am very, very excited about GarageCon. I'm looking forward to meeting those people that can make it out face to face. And I'm excited. This is an event that we've been doing. I think now this is the 3rd year. I honestly have a good time. So fingers crossed that this year is not a disappointment, and I have a feeling that it won't be. Based upon registrations, we have probably the best turnout of the 3 years this year. So I am very excited about meeting each and every person that is able to make it out. All right, with that said, I'm going to wrap this up. I want to thank you guys again for spending a little bit of time with me. As always, if you need to reach out to me, feel free to do so on Instagram at Regie Collects. Take care.